members, and I think we all work together really well to produce the results and produce good events that run really smoothly. I chose to do an apprenticeship because I like being in the job, and also I like earning money at the same time, and I just think it works really well for me because I'm in the workplace gaining skills that I need in the future. I think it really depends on if you know what you want to do, because I think A-levels give you a good start. If you're not specifically sure what you want to do, it's good to explore different options, and doing my A-levels, that's how I realised I wanted to do events management in the future. So I think if you don't know, it's a good place to start. Whereas if you're sure on what you want to do as your career, then it'd be best to start with an apprenticeship. Just get stuck in, really. There's nothing to be nervous about. You'll be put in a really good team, everyone will support you, and it may be a bit nerve-wracking at first because you think you don't know what you're doing, but you will pick it up really quickly, and soon it'll be like you've been doing it forever.
Every Wednesday I come into college and I study, and I'm actually studying what I'm actually practicing the rest of the days of the week. So it gives you a sort of freedom as such. It gives you the work experience where you learn more practical skills to do with the job. At this stage I'm still quite early in my work life, but the contacts I've made there, it's boosted my confidence and my ability to become a great accountant, I guess. Oh no, 100% would have taken this apprenticeship. I think for one, I mean, being paid to study, having the qualification and the study being paid for you, and not having a student debt, I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer for me. Well, I mean, the level 4 course it's a first-year degree course, so it's not an easy course. You've got to do a lot of work outside of college as well. I mean, the day release, which I'm giving us, is really, the teachers here, they know what they're doing, and they're really helpful with, you know, supporting if you need a little bit of extra attention. If you give them an email, they'll send you a bit of extra work, or if you're stuck on any questions, then you can email in, and they'll get back to you quite rapidly.
All I'd advise for anyone that is thinking of doing an apprenticeship is just to do some research first, make sure you actually go into a good company, because admittedly there are some bad companies out there, but we've managed to find a company that really invests in your future and any training that you might need, and they'll, as long as it's deemed relevant to your career, they'll put you on any training course that you want to do.
I was going to say more like freedom, because at our job, even though we're specific to something we do, we've been given the opportunity to go around all the departments and learn the production line, if you want to call it.
My favourite part of the apprenticeship is actually in the work environment around the people in our tool room, because we're such a tight-knit team and we all get along so well that it just makes it an easy environment to work and learn in.
Starting out, you get a lot more help than obviously if you were to just go straight into it, obviously, because it's new. There's a lot of people looking out for you. Obviously, you're coming in for a one day a week sort of work-based learning, so you're getting the extra. You know, you actually learn sort of more than sort of other people do. You know, doing that job. I think there's a lot of help for people who are struggling to decide what they want to do in life. So, you know, you take on an apprenticeship, you've got teachers who can help you, and also employers are more. You know, they're more there to sort of help you out. Fancy something different, you know, something that I hadn't done already, so trying a different skill, so a new skill set basically. I've been older, I thought it was going to be quite difficult to get into an apprenticeship, but I actually found it quite easy. People sort of seem to prefer older apprentices to younger apprentices. I think, you know, I suppose it's sort of more profitable for younger ones, but where I've been, they seem to quite enjoy, you know, having an older apprentice. So yeah, just like I say, wanted to try something different.
Well, good evening and welcome to our Colchester Institute and our Apprenticeship Virtual Event. It is so lovely to have you join us this evening. And just as a way of introduction, we're going to be starting the event any minute now, and it's actually going to be a recording that you're going to be watching. So I'm not actually going to formally introduce myself, because I'll do that when you see the recording. One of the things that we'd love to encourage you to do is to actually grab some pen and paper or get your phones out, something that you can take some notes on, and just to write down any questions that you may have as we go through this recorded presentation. After tonight's presentation that's been recorded, you will find a list the YouTube chat, and you'll be able to go into any of those rooms. You can go in as many times as you want, and you can go into lots of different rooms as well to find out and to speak a little bit more to our teams. However, for now, we just want to encourage you to sit back, make yourself comfortable while I share with you some information around apprenticeships at Colchester Institute. Enjoy. Good evening and welcome to Colchester Institute and our Apprenticeship Virtual Events. My name is Amanda Drew and I'm the Director of Apprenticeships and Business Solutions here at Colchester Institute. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey with regards to apprenticeships and giving you some information, hopefully that's going to help you to make a decision as to whether an apprenticeship is a route that you would like to choose. So first of all, what is an apprenticeship? So apprenticeship standards are ways for people of all ages, and whether you're using the apprenticeship to upskill and help you progress in your career, or whether you're choosing the apprenticeship as a way of sort of like entering onto your career ladder, the apprenticeships are a way for you to earn and to learn whilst progressing that career. With an apprenticeship, you're in a real job, so you're employed. You're being paid a national minimum wage. Currently, that national minimum wage is £4.15 per hour. You have a contract of employment, so you are actually employed. You are in employment for the duration of your apprenticeship. You are gaining real experience along the way. This isn't a job that's just been made up for an apprentice. This is a real job, and it has an actual job description, and the job description will be very much in line with the apprenticeship standard that you are undertaking. You will also achieve either the full qualification standard on its own, which is certificated, and you'll have that. Or for some particular standards, you may also achieve an actual accredited qualification within it. So, you'll come away with either one certificate that says that you've got this apprenticeship standard, the date of which you achieved it. But for others, you'll come away and you'll have the two certificates in there. So why choose an apprenticeship? Like I said, you're earning a salary whilst you're learning. And I explained about the national minimum wage. Now, that is a minimum wage. Lots of employers pay a lot more than that £4.15 an hour. And it's just worth asking that question when you go into your Zoom rooms. What is the standard wage that apprentices are paid in the sector that you're seeking to go into and find out a little bit more about? You will also have paid holidays. So you will have a contract of employment, so you'll know how many weeks holiday you can access per year. So that's really, really important, because this again is the reflection of this being a real job. You will gain a variety of skills, as well as the knowledge, skills and the behaviours that are laid out in the standard. Some of the transferable skills that you're going to develop are skills like your communication skills, team lead, sort of like team working skills, problem solving. So all the time you're developing what we call transferable skills. Through the apprenticeship, you can actually also progress from a starting point. Some apprenticeships start at what we would call a level 2, which is the kind of like starting point of a grade, an equivalence to a grade 4 in a GCSE. And you can go on to a grade, to a level 3, which is equivalent to an A level, or you can go on and develop the whole way through to level 4, which is the first year of a foundation degree, level 5, which is the second year of a foundation degree, or actually you can achieve the full degree apprenticeship as well through this particular route. The great thing about this as well is that there is no cost to you as the apprentice, because your employer and the government will pick up the costs of the apprenticeship. There are a wide range of apprenticeships available, and after you've listened to this presentation, we would encourage you to go into some of our Zoom rooms where our teams are, where you can go and ask specific questions regarding some of these different industries. You can become a qualified nurse now and actually achieve your nursing degree through the apprenticeship standard. You can be doing a management apprenticeship degree, the degree apprenticeship in management through an apprenticeship standard. And you can do a engineering degree apprenticeship through the apprenticeship standard. So that's where you might want to go as your career progresses. And it's really important that you remember that through the apprenticeships, there really is a very clear pathway to come on to that career ladder, but also to reach your optimum goal as well. Now, the apprenticeship, as I said earlier, is for all ages and all abilities. Now, I would encourage you again, when you go into your Zoom rooms to talk to our teams, ask them about entry criteria onto apprenticeships, because some apprenticeship standards, there isn't an entry criteria to get onto that. Of not only do you have to be employed with an employer in that sector, but you also have to have the GCSE grades of 4 and above to be able to enrol onto the apprenticeship in that area. So it really is worth, when you go into the Zoom rooms, make sure you're asking all of these types of questions, because it is different for every apprenticeship standard. Okay, so what can you expect from the apprenticeship? We will support you and help you to find an employer. You can't be an apprentice without an employer. So the first thing is we need to help you and support you in doing that. You might already have an employer or an idea of an employer, of somebody that said to you that they would be prepared to take you on as an apprentice. That's great. And we would encourage you to go along to our general apprenticeship team on the Zoom and maybe pass over some of those details, or they'll certainly tell you what you need to do. But we can help you if you haven't yet secured an employer. You will have a contract of employment and a job description. Okay, and we wouldn't take on any apprentices enroll them onto an apprenticeship program without a contract of employment and a job description. We will carry out also what we call an initial assessment. Now, this is where we look at your starting points and the skills and behaviours and the knowledge that you have currently. So we'll do a very thorough skills assessment, and we also do an assessment on your basic skills. Now, this isn't necessarily about whether we're going to allow you to come on to the apprenticeship programme. This is more about ensuring that the apprenticeship standard that you're going to enrol on is bespoke for you. So it needs to be designed for you, and we will only know that by ensuring that we do a thorough initial assessment. You will be paid for what we call on the job and off the job. So when you're on the job working and you're actually doing your job in line with the apprenticeship standard, you obviously will be paid for that. But there is an element of your apprenticeship, 20% of your apprenticeship time, of working time, you need to be developing your skills in an off-the-job learning way. Now, that could be coming along to a day release at the college. It might be doing some independent research. you may be completing an assignment, and you need to be, for all of this, it's called off the job. So you need to be away from the immediate pressures of the job role. Okay, so you can still be off the job learning in your place of work, as long as those pressures are not around you and you can give time and concentrate. Or, as I say, it might be that you're working away from the workplace. You could be logging into an online teaching session, or you may be in the classroom on a weekly basis. Some of our programs is what we call block learning, where you'll come along to the college for what could be 5 days a week for maybe a month. So the different programs that we run have different delivery modes and how you'll achieve that off-the-job learning. But what's important is that you're aware that 20% of your working hours will be off-the-job learning, and you will be paid for those hours. If you are coming along to the college on a regular basis, you might find that you're visited by somebody from the college. We call them assessors or coaches. They may come and visit you just once every 12 weeks in the work placement to carry out a progress review. These progress reviews happen for all apprentices, whether you're in the college frequently or not in at all, and they happen every 4 to 12 weeks. So it's between you as the employer, your employer, between you as the apprentice, and include your assessor or coach from Colchester Institute. And you will sit down for up to an hour and look at your progress and set some new objectives to help you, and actions to help you to progress further in the coming months. If you don't come to the college, you will be visited more regularly in the work placement, possibly every 4 to 8 weeks, just to ensure that your skills are developing and to maybe carry out observations. You will need to complete maths and English as well as part of the apprenticeship standard, especially if you have enrolled onto an apprenticeship and you don't yet currently have maths and English at the grades 4 or above. So at this point, I just love to encourage you and say to you, do everything that you can now. For those of you still studying and in year 11, do everything that you can now in putting all the effort in, all the time in for your GCSEs. Because at the end of the day, what you do now will mean you won't have to do it again later. So if you come away and you've got your GCSE grade 4 or above, you won't need to do a further qualification in maths and English. When it comes to your apprenticeship, it will just be the vocational learning that you'll be fully engaging in. However, if you don't get those grades, all is not lost, because you can do the functional skills here at Colchester Institute. Now, if the apprenticeship standard that you would like to enrol on requires you to have those maths and English skills before you start them, then we can work with you either to retake GCSEs, or you could come on board and do a functional skill in readiness to prepare for that apprenticeship standard the following year. So if we will give you advice and guidance throughout the apprenticeship and help you choose your next steps after the particular apprenticeship that you're on. As I said earlier, you can go from a level 2 all the way through to a degree. So we will help you with that, and with further employment if that's required also. Throughout the apprenticeship, there will be regular opportunities for you to feed back into your apprenticeship. You know, we love to have your feedback. It helps us to improve our processes, and your feedback is really what drives our quality assurance around the delivery of the apprenticeship standards. So if you're thinking, how can I secure employment to do this? It's really very simple. So first of all, go along to the Colchester Institute website. You just click on the apprenticeships. You can then click out, check out some of our latest vacancies. So you can go through and it will show you some of our vacancies. It will show you the hourly rate, and there'll be an opportunity to click onto that vacancy. Now, when you search on the Colchester Institute website, you can search by sector. So if you're not sure, you know, you can go on and say, I want to do business admin, or I really want to do health and social care. So you can actually click by sector and search that way. Once the vacancy comes up, if you just click onto it, you'll then be asked to sign into the Find an Apprenticeship website. So this is a third-party website that is linked straight into ours. Now, if you haven't signed in or signed up to that yet, I would encourage you to do it, because you can also use that website independently of our Colchester Institute website. But going through our website is certainly one of the easier ways to get there. So you sign into the Find the Apprenticeship and you can apply for the vacancy there. Now, remember, when you're filling in that application form, the employer that you're applying to is going to see it. So to be sure, think very carefully about your spelling that you're using, answer all of the questions, think about the grammar that you're using as well. So as I say, the employer will receive a copy of that application form. So once you've done that, you just sit back and you wait to hear from the employer. Now, not all employers will come back to you. So it may be that you need to touch base with Colchester Institute again if you hadn't heard anything. And of course, if it is one of Colchester Institute's apprenticeship vacancies. So to find out further information with regards to all of the apprenticeships that we offer here at Colchester Institute, I really encourage you to go along and to visit our website. We have how-to guides on there, lots of information about how to find an employer, how to apply for an apprenticeship opportunity, but we also have lots of case studies. So if you're thinking, I think I want to do an apprenticeship, but I'm not sure what apprenticeship, I don't know what sort of vocation to head towards, you could always just have a look at some of our case studies there. Now, these are a lot of them are current apprentices. They're apprentices that have recently gone on, but they're really giving you what I think is a really good taster as to what the actual apprenticeship itself is going to be like. So I just want to say a huge thank you for joining us and being here with us this evening. So now we're going to ask you to, after the presentation's finished, to go off and meet some of our team. There are different links to the different Zoom rooms, depending on what particular vocational area or what potential standard you're interested in. So you can go into any of those rooms. There are tutors and assessors and coaches in there will talk you through their subject specialisms and any questions that you have that you've kind of like been thinking about as we've gone along in this presentation, you can take with you and ask them all about that. We also have an apprenticeship Zoom room as well, where you can go in here with very general apprenticeship. So if it's about, you know, the enrolment process, or about the application process, or about securing employment, or if it's just general, you know, you can go into the apprenticeship Zoom room as well. And if some of your other rooms are quite busy and you're thinking, I'm not getting to ask my questions, I would really encourage you that might be a good place to go. That's the apprenticeship Zoom room. And of course, don't forget, you can join and enjoy more than one Zoom room as well. So go in between them all. Go and meet our team. They're there. They're waiting to speak to you. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really do hope that you seriously consider an apprenticeship opportunity with Colchester Institute. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you managed to capture some information from that and were able to maybe get some questions that you can take into the Zoom rooms with you. Just a further piece of advice is, if the Zoom room that you go into is quite busy, then feel free to visit some other Zoom rooms, or you could always go along to the general apprenticeship Zoom room, where they will be able to help you with most questions. If you would like some advice on seeking employment, then do make use of our employer Zoom room, where there are people in there that are constantly working with our employers. Another one of the apprenticeships that we've been asked about quite a few times is the IT apprenticeship, and you can find this within the Zoom room that is labelled infrastructure technician. So that in there you'll find most of our sort of like apprenticeship standards that are linked into IT. We also have the professional qualifications Zoom room, and you might be thinking, oh, what are they? So within our professional Zoom room, you'll be able to ask questions and find information out regarding human resources, so working in HR, team leading and management, and procurement as well. So thank you so much again for joining us, and we hope that you've had a good evening. We hope that you've felt inspired by what you've heard tonight, and we know that by going and meeting with our teams, you will be inspired even more. So enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you and good night.